What's up, guys? Barry Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today we're talking about the brand new light celestial hero Dunlingr, because we do now have confirmation he is coming out on the 20th, which is literally just a couple days away, with the season of Waves of Intrigue. And a lot of people are already asking, should we be using this hero? Should we prioritize him over heroes like Reinier and Scarlita? And that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about here today. I already, in my personal opinion, feel like going for Reinier isn't quite the play as your first Celestial Hypogen anymore. There's other better options, and I think one of them that really stands out is Scarlita, because she gives you that advantage in PvP. She's great in AFK stages. Once you get her to Mythic Plus, you get the execution type ability, just knocking people off the field. And that's where I want to do the kind of direct comparison. Would you ever in any world use Dunlingr over Scarlita? Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't done it just yet. Let's compare these two heroes. So again, luckily we have a chance to take a look at both of these heroes, and I do think each of them are going to be better in a very certain scenario. Later this week, we are going to be testing Dunlingr out as a free-to-play with a single copy, and testing him out maxed out on our main account to see what he can actually do. He's the newest hero that's coming to the Stargaze station, and even though we still have some typos here on the test server and everything, we can still get a good idea about what his abilities do and how he works. Now, just to reiterate what his functionality looks like here, we're going to jump into a battle. I want to show you guys how the setup of this hero works. Number one, you'll see he has this glow on the back, and he has this little itty bitty icon in the center of the screen. You click it, it goes from white to purple. Essentially, purple is the version that's going to stop healing on the battlefield, whereas the white color stops ultimates. Now remember, once you get him to Mythic Plus and you get that unlocked and everything, you will then protect essentially the furthest away hero, not the furthest back, the furthest away, because you can see here, I can put Smokey, and technically Smokey's the furthest back in the formation, where normally that's how things are referenced. This one is a physical distance tile-wise from Dunlingr, so you can't have him right there. You can't do something like this and then also have something up here, because then that messes with it. See how the distance is a big key here? That is something to keep in mind. Now, when you do get him Mythic Plus, that hero is now protected, and they can now use their active ultimate skill, whereas nobody else on the battlefield will. If you take a look at the beginning of the battle, he's going to do his Big Bell ability right here, basically stopping all ultimates for 12 seconds. And then, of course, he has to get to another ultimate in order to have it happen again. Now, luckily, he's a tank, so he's going to be a front row hero. You'll see that bell wore off just in time kind of for him to get another ultimate going, and you can see a couple heroes on the enemy side did get their ultimate off, so don't think of this as a completely stopping all ultimates for the entire battle. You'd have to have a very unique situation, maybe with him and like a Rowan being the one that's protected with the Mythic Plus. As a single hero copy, that won't happen. However, he does have some nice abilities to do some extra damage. He does have a pretty good shield if you take him all the way up to Supreme Plus. He's also going to increase all allies' attack speed, which can be absolutely crazy. His Mythic Plus increases his damage reduction. So as a single copy, he might have some niche uses. But of course, building it up to Mythic Plus just to get it unlocked is pretty solid. And I will say, just getting him to Mythic Plus is very good, because that is when you're getting that effect where it says affected by his order will not happen for that one ally. So that's really good. Everything above that, plus 5, 10, 15, are just increases to the stats that essentially that hero is getting. Kind of very similar with Scarlita. A lot of her power does come from her being Mythic Plus. So Mythic Plus deals true damage if there's at least 4 surviving non-summon allies other than herself on the battlefield. However, this one's is interesting, because you do technically kind of need her to get up to plus 10, which means you're going to use Tidal and Temporal Essence to get her there. She does then knock non-boss enemies that are having a certain below HP level off the battlefield. This is where we call her Scarlita, where she just yeets the enemies, especially Thorins, Talines, those reviving heroes, off the battlefield so they can't. She really does need that to really start popping off. But even before that, in PvP, she can do pretty well, mainly because she goes up, into the air at the beginning of battle. She's going to grant allies shields at the very least. If you do get her to Supreme Plus, she gets even better, giving that ally physical defense and magic defense, making them even tankier. But I do feel like it's a tough call between these two units because both of them can have some uses and both of them are going to be very strong in one main area, and that is PvP. So in Arena, I think even on our free-to-play accounts and everything, I've gone for Scarlita first and foremost now. And that's because the amount of gems and diamonds you can generate by leveling up faster is very, very, very good. On top of that, you're getting more arena coins to buy more stargazes and such, and you can usually get as a free-to-play player all the way up through Epic 3, all the way through Legendary, and then you can get up to the 3,200 point mark and get into Champion. And normally, if you're on an early server or early game server, even if you're free to play, you can break into the top 20 pretty easily, meaning you're getting all these Twilight and Temporal Essence on top of just like summons after summons after summons, and even some cosmetics and some cool extra resources like Twilight Essence every single week. So don't discount the power of going for PvP. PvP isn't like the end game of this game. We all know Dream Realm is, but let's be honest, there's a lot of formations that still use her, at least in this current season. We're about to end the Song of Strife season, which is why you kind of see the end of her at the top of the list here right now. You're not seeing either one of them here, and you're definitely never, I mean, probably never gonna use Dunlingr in a PvE Dream Realm situation because, well, yeah, he's kind of just locking out everybody else on the battlefield, including your allies, except for that one if you do have him at Mythic Plus. So as well as good of a like god tier PvP hero Dunlingr is going to be, I feel like overall Scarlita is going to be the better hero for you to go still with. I think she's just undeniably that this robot is just so good. Providing support even in AFK stages. Granted, Dunlingr might have some uses in some AFK battles too, because remember, we mainly have been talking about his main part of his ultimate skill here, the Spellbind, unable to cast ultimates, but there's actually a use that potentially unable to recover HP for others is something that could be very powerful too, because you could set up your protected hero on your side being one that can heal, and then that hero can heal everybody like a Smokey or something like that, or a Damien. That way you can still get HP recovery for your team, because again, the way it words it, unable to recover HP for others. So just keep that in mind. We do need to test a little bit more. I feel like nobody really talks about the Cure Lock, but I think Cure Lock could potentially be very, very powerful as well for certain stages. And maybe even in PvP too, that you might be going up against a very tanky team that wants to, instead of, you know, casting ultimates for damage, they might be just trying to heal themselves up and survive. And I'm honestly thinking I might be building a very early game burst comp that has to do with like Dunlingr, Aaron, Alsa, something like that, that has some crazy fast burst damage, maybe even a Brian, I don't know, and make it so that we can cast ultimates, but instead make it so the enemy team can't recover HP. So that means Damians are locked out, Haywins are locked out. There's a lot of things that you could potentially do, but I think overall, to just kind of sum up this, Scarlita has more uses for your account, and it really seems like we haven't found a hero that truly replaces her. You could say like Freesto has some good uses in both PvP. He's really good in Dream Realm. I think it's a much heavier investment to get him going versus a Scarlita, and the early game Scarlita, like I said, does provide a lot of strategy to your account and a lot of different things. So if you're considering who you should go for, in my opinion, it's still Scarlita, but again, once Thursday comes out, we're going to be testing him at a single copy, Dunlingr that is, multiple copies, fully maxed out, and we're going to see what happens. If we get lucky, we might even be building a DNL on our own account to show you guys the synergies between those two heroes. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time.